Today we're going to hear an exit interview with Karlen Anderson. Karlen joined our company about 12 years ago and was really brought in to do teaching, training, and developing of talent. And his career really migrated through our lean journey and construction production 2.0. So we'll hear what Karlen has to say. His background's a little unconventional for our industry, and I'll be curious to hear his path. So where were you born?
I was born in New Richmond, Wisconsin, which is take Highway 53 north out of Eau Claire. And Eau Claire is directly east of kind of the Twin Cities.
So were you in the middle of nowhere? You were born in the middle of nowhere?
Pretty much.
Okay.
Pretty much middle of nowhere. Dad's first job as he was still an art teacher at that point.
Okay.
Then he became a high school principal. And we moved to Mauston, Wisconsin, which is down near Madison.
Okay.
From there, where did we go from Mauston? Cumberland. Cumberland's back up in that Rice Lake, Turtle Lake, Chippewa Falls area. And then there we ended up in Wausau. That's where I spent my junior high and high school.
Oh, be darn.
Wausau, Wisconsin.
So do you have siblings?
3 siblings.
And where are you in the pecking order?
I am the oldest.
Okay.
Oldest of 4.
You're the pace setter.
I guess so, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got brothers that are twins. My sister's the youngest.
Okay. And
there's less than 3 years between us. Mom and dad, yeah.
Yeah.
I turned 3. No, I hadn't quite turned 3 yet. My brothers are October babies, and my sister's an October baby. So when they came along, yeah. So four of us under 3 years old.
My mom is one of 13 kids. The oldest was adopted because the doc said, "Yeah, you can't have kids."
Yeah.
And then my grandma had 11 kids in 12 years. There are 3 sets of twins in that program, and my mom is a twin. Yeah, so it can happen.
Oh, yeah. It was just, yeah.
All right, so growing up, what did you do in school? Were you the jock? Were you the band guy?
I was the jock. I wanted to be the wannabe jock. Okay. I was in band, but school I went to, you couldn't be in marching band if you were on the football team.
Okay.
So they gave me a quarter off while I was playing football.
So what was your position?
I was a quarterback.
Okay.
Worked like crazy to be the starting quarterback. Junior year, spent most of my time with the starting quarterback, the senior. And then my senior year, coaching change happened. Mm-hmm. Got a new head coach. That didn't work out very well for the seniors.
I'll be darned. So did that coach, was he from within the school, or did he?
He was within the conference. He was just from he was from a town about a half hour away from Wausau. He was from Stevens Point, which is south of Wausau area. But yeah. Now, he ended up being a great success. He just wasn't much of one for us.
So wishbone offense?
No. He brought in the veer option.
Okay.
Like we were a power eye. We were a power eye. Before that, we were a power eye offense. Just slam it, just run it right up the middle and sweeps, pitch it, and get everybody out in front and just sweep the crap out of people.
Okay.
So I wasn't very fast, but I could throw the ball. Veer option coach came in.
Not much thrown in the veer option.
And I wasn't very fast. So I lasted 3 games in my senior year, and we switched it out to anybody else that would sign up to come out for quarterback. He was, bleeding for. But when we got 3rd and long, you know who went in the game?
Mm-hmm. My high school basketball coach said, "Hey, Esposito, I like you. You're short and you're slow." So I had that going for me.
Yeah, it was. There's things you want to achieve, goals you want to achieve, and I didn't really want to achieve this one, but I was the top of the conference that year in interceptions.
Okay. Well, that'll happen.
Well, when it's third and long and everybody's yelling up, number 10's in.
Yeah.
Just drop back and pick him off.
All right. So you graduate from Wausau.
Yeah, it was a DC. There's 4 schools, and there are 3 publics and a Catholic, and I was at DC Everest High School.
Okay. Is that a Catholic or?
No, that was a public school.
Got it.
It was DC Everest was Dick Clark Everest was a big. There's a lot of paper mills in that area,
okay.
And so that's So apparently that's how that school got named. But yeah, my dad was in '74. He became the principal in the district at the high school.
Wow, so you're the principal's kid too.
I was a principal. I was a PK.
Yeah.
Not the preacher's kid, but I was the principal's kid.
Yeah.
But about the same difference at times.
My dad was a high school shop teacher, so he had eyes on me in high school as well.
Yeah, there was a lot of us teacher, administrator kids right in my class, and my best buddy was his dad was the Woods teacher, and one of my buddies was Woods teachers. The other one was the ag teacher, and principal kids.
All right, you're crossed with your diploma. Then what'd you do?
Took off for school. Didn't know where I wanted to go. I was a principal's kid, but the guidance department didn't do a very good job of guiding me. My dad, as a principal, didn't do a very good job of guiding me.
Sure.
So I found a little Christian college in St. Paul, Northwestern, and played football. Try that out.
Your option?
Yeah, they did. Actually,
did they really?
Oh, yeah. I was like number 5 or 6 quarterback in camp.
Okay.
And so being my first year, I didn't see a whole lot of playing time, but we had scrimmages, and we were scrimmaging one of the other colleges across town there in Minneapolis or St. Paul. And it was a Monday, and I got a chance to run the offense, and faked it to the fullback, and then you got to read the defensive end and linebacker and see what they're going to do, and they both just crashed on my tailback, and so there was a big hole, and I took off. I made it about 5-7 yards, and the whole defensive team caught me. I mean, the backs and the linebackers, the defensive line, they just piled me up. I popped up and ran back to the huddle. After the scrimmage, the head coach puts his arm around me and says, "Anderson, you can take a hit." I said, "I'll watch you just pop back up again. How would you like to be a tight end?" Because we only had one other tight end in camp.
Okay.
So there I am, growing from 6'1" to 6'3", 150 pounds soaking wet. And the next day I was at the offensive line.
Okay.
Now I'm a quarterback from like 7th grade when I played football.
Yeah.
Right now I'm a lineman.
Yep.
That was funny.
Yeah.
For everybody else, that offensive line that was a good practice for them.
So
because I'm trying to throw a block on something. I have never blocked jack. Even the bag made me look funny.
Yeah. Did you persist as a lineman then? Did you keep going?
I did. I finished out that was about halfway through the season. Finished out the season as a tight end. A lot of fun. Got to run receivers scouting offense. And they really were recruiting hard to keep me there. But it was a private school, a lot of money. And I had found this gal I kind of liked.
Okay.
And we got engaged right after football season. So we were 1 year. Well, it all started graduation day of high school. Girl I kind of had my eyes on. And graduation day, I decided I'd call her up and see if she wanted to ride to graduation. That was kind of the start of the whole thing. Okay. Took her to graduation. Basically started June 3rd, 1979.
What car did you take her in?
I was driving a Ford Ranchero, lime green with lemon yellow stripe on the side of it. Okay. 60 series tires on the back end with baby moon hubcaps.
Other than that, do you remember anything else about it? I'm kidding. I'm sure you do.
Lots.
So you went to Northwestern, and you went there for a year then?
Yep, barely got there a year. I was once football got down, I was in the training camp all the way up to that. So once training camp was the football camp where they, help you make sure your grades stayed.
Yep.
That ended, and so did my grade point average.
Sure.
I got a pink slip in my mailbox that said, Mr. Anderson, you should probably go see your advisor. You got a 148 going.
Okay.
Was engaged, and that shortly after the football season was engaged. And so Patty and I, we were married in August that next year.
Then what?
Off to University of Wisconsin Stout to get a degree to be a shop teacher.
Oh, be darn.
Like your dad.
So is that why you went there? What you thought you would go there to do?
Yeah, because when I went and played football, I didn't know what I was really. I was kind of entertaining the whole football idea. It'd be kind of fun. Russ Francis was playing for the 49ers, and he was a big lumbering tight end. It's like, oh man, I could probably do that. But anyway, football was done. Got married. University of Wisconsin Stout, Menominee, Wisconsin.
Yep.
Big tech ed school. Almost finished my degree there, and my wife did. She finished hers. She had a home ec. Becky Homacki and
Bob the Builder.
Bob the Builder. Finished up to her degree, and then I was getting ready to do student teaching, and my curriculum instructor that I'd had was going to be my supervising, my student teaching.
Yep.
And I'm like, no, not going to do it. Not going to happen. Can't do that. That guy is not going to work. Entertained the idea because we had some friends here in Iowa, and looking around for a school I could finish up my tech ed degree at. Iowa State popped up. And they found out I was a tech ed. They and University of Wisconsin Stout were in kind of competition. I didn't know that at the time, but yeah, they were the technical education, the technical industrial tech degree was huge at Stout and Iowa State. And so when they could poach, we gotta poach this one.
Sure.
Rolled out the red carpet, and 3 semesters later, I had my tech ed degree from Iowa State.
So where'd you student teach?
Indian Hills Junior High in West Des Moines.
Okay.
That was a 7-8 building.
Yep.
And then I did my high school at Ankeny High School.
When it was
Northview.
one high school.
It was Northview.
Yep.
We were doing that renovation.
Yep.
Walked through some of the woods labs.
I bet.
It's like,
I bet.
I've been here.
I bet.
So,
all right. So you launch.
Yep.
You launch your career. Where'd you start?
From here, we went back to Wisconsin to try to find a teaching degree. At the time, that was 85, 86, oil embargo, lots of shortages going on.
Right.
Schools are locking up they're locking up all their elective type courses, ag and woodworking, construction, welding, auto. So I graduate, and I had 600 letters of inquiry in state of Minnesota, Wisconsin, Michigan, Illinois.
Oh, be darn.
I got 6 interviews, and no jobs.
Okay.
Went to work for a door and window factory in Wausau, did some student teaching. And then in 86, so basically a year after I graduated, had interviewed for a school in one of the Kenosha schools, Kenosha, Wisconsin, down on the border.
Okay.
Got first teaching job there in October. They interviewed for a full-time position, didn't get it. They remembered my interview, said, hey, you got a part-time, and would you bring your wife with you? She's a home ec teacher, right?
Right.
So we went there in 86.
Power couple.
October 86, we go there, and I have a 2/3 tech ed position. She has a 1/3. And when that school year, she still had a full-time job. I didn't.
Okay.
So private school for 2 years, teaching in a Christian school for 2 years.
Okay.
And then burn out on that a little bit, the whole teaching thing. And I thought, well, my brother's in Florida. He's working for a contractor. So I go to Florida for a year, frame duplexes. Florida's, the population is being increased by 1,500 people a week.
Sure.
It's just booming. 89, 90. Now, shortly into that, toward the end of that year, things shut off. We got 3-4 slabs. Contractors working for us said, nope, no more. And so odds and ends. Two of us ended up doing odds and end jobs till the first of the year, and then they cut us. And I went to didn't miss a day of work. We had our supervisor foreman said, "Hey, I got a buddy in another company. Set you up."
Sure.
2:30 Sunday afternoon, I got a phone call. Said, "Hey, I hear you might need a job." Yeah, 3 kids.
Yep.
Living in Florida, and so Monday I went to work for that company. And then Patty and I decided it was time to get out of Florida. Florida's a great place to visit, but
Right.
work. Yeah. So we moved back to Wisconsin. Then I ended up in a teaching position, kind of like Eldora. It's Homie Home for Boys. So I taught in a that was just 8 to 18-year-olds. Trouble with the law.
Sure.
Trouble with a lot of different things. So I taught there. And then where'd I go from there? Oh, I was youth pastor for a year. And that ended, and started working for myself. And then
Still in Wisconsin.
Still in Wisconsin.
Okay.
Still in the Wausau area. And then teaching position, a quarter teaching position, opened up at the school that I had graduated from. That my dad had been the principal. I was like, oh, yep, that's where I want to be. And got the interview. The guy that interviewed me was the assistant principal that my dad had hired. And Dick Crump sitting across the table from me, he says, "Why on earth are you applying for a quarter position? You got 3 kids." I mean, he knew that. I said, "I just want to teach here, be in this school." He goes, "Okay, well," they hired me. By the time school started, it was up to 50. And so I 50% that first year. Next year, it was going to be like 75%. By the time school started, it was 90. And then the at-risk programs, they hadn't done a whole lot of stuff with at-risk students yet. And so that was kind of, hey, what can we do with that? How we can do this at-risk thing. So I started working with students at risk, which was really students that were at risk of failing their coursework. Now, if you look at education now, at risk means something kind of different.
Yep.
Anyway, so that's what I filled up my other time with. Then I taught 2 more years there, and a youth director's position was coming available here with some people that we'd met prior.
Here in Iowa.
Back here in Iowa.
Okay.
But they wanted me to teach another year first before I started that youth director's job. So my wife and I both that was spring break time in 94. 98. We both interviewed for positions at Waukee High School. Got hired that day. So made arrangements for trying to find a house in the area.
Sure.
And then, we moved here. I taught 1 year at Waukee. Then I was a youth director for the church down in Waukee.
Okay.
For a year.
So how did you get to Story then?
I did that. I was at-risk. I managed an at-risk youth camp for 4 years, and then I opened my own business. I'd seen Story truck. It's interesting because I'd seen Story trucks on there. You guys are working on a church on Hickman, the Presbyterian church down there.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd seen Story red trucks, but I'd worked my own business for a number of years, and I was starting to feel the aches and pains of climbing around on ladders. And Krista, my oldest, that was working at Story at the time, said, "Hey, Dad, guy up here is putting together. They want somebody to do some training. Your teaching background, it might fit." He says, "I'll send you the job application or the description of the job."
What was that, 12 years ago-ish, something like that?
11 and a half.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was almost about 12 years ago when the process started.
Yeah.
Pat and I met. I was still running my own business, and so wasn't a need to get things done real quickly. And there was still Story was still trying to figure some stuff out. So went through the interview process. Met with him one time, and then he wanted me to meet a few other people. Randy, Mark Whelan at the time, he was a safety guy, and Mike Welter. I met with them. So I met with Pat, and then the next time I came down, I met with those people, and then he put me in, we were at South Bell yet, put me in the conference room with a whole room full of project managers.
Yeah. Probably made you really comfortable.
Sperlich was the first guy I met.
Huh.
But he handed me his card. I hadn't been in the commercial construction world, and I didn't know about handing off business cards and doing all that stuff. I was working for myself. I barely had business cards, but yeah, Sperlich met with, he was like the first one in the room. And then sat through this whole about an hour worth of questions from the different guys. And I didn't know Larry at the time, but
got to know
Larry was true to form in that process.
Yep.
Because right at the end he goes, "Oh, Karlen, I got a couple questions for you." But, oh man, the old guy's going to run me through with a spear and just stick me to the wall. I'm going to be hanging there bleeding out, because I don't know what's coming. No, but he had a couple good questions.
He does. Always does.
Oh, he's like, so you spent about 5 hours with us now and talking to different people. Where's your excitement level at? I went, that's a cool question. That's interesting.
Yeah.
So there was Jerry Long talking about working on a 6-foot diameter sewage pipe and getting all excited about working with shit.
Yeah.
But,
yeah.
So
when you started, what was that like? Who were you working with, and how'd you start?
I worked directly with Pat, mostly for the training, because we're trying to put some training stuff together.
Yep.
And then Mark Whelan was the other one that I worked directly with. And then Randy and I started doing a little bit of stuff because I was
Randy Lundstrom.
Yep. Because right away I got involved. As soon as they showed me the CP 2.0 stuff, it's like, wow, it's cool. Sticky notes and whiteboards, and I got it right away.
Yep.
It was, it intrigued me. So it was more intrigue on my part. That might not have been quite where Pat wanted to go with me yet, but that's where I kind of started.
Yeah, it really illuminates, makes the invisible visible, especially for people that are new to commercial construction, whether they're young in their career or more seasoned in their career.
Yep. And we were pretty early. That was pretty early on. That was 2014. So I think the end of 13 is kind of when they kind of rolled it out with Rob and Valerie and Workiva, and I was getting in on the early side of it, and started picking up stuff with because Mike Casson had been, when he started showing up, and it started being pulled into those meetings, and continued to grow.
You navigated through the training and then a lot of the coaching of 2.0. So what are maybe a couple of vivid memories you have of your journey through the company and really through helping us embed the 2.0 process?
Early on, we didn't have any instructions, very little instruction on how to carry out the meetings and the process of going through it. So Randy and I would basically go out and do the coaching piece. And I remember sitting in meetings and we'd go timeout. We'd stop things right in the middle of them. And after a little while, I started watching not only our people that were leading the meetings, but the contractors sitting at the table. They just cringed. They would physically go, "Oh, crap, what's happening?" So we were kind of being the hammer, trying to get things right.
Yep.
And I remember in our CP 2.0 meetings on Friday, it came out. It said, "We can't keep doing this way. We gotta get more instruction involved in this. We gotta have, because this just to guess them by golly, and hopefully we get it the way we're supposed to do, and then we yell at them a little bit. We weren't really yelling at them, but we were stopping and correcting.
Right.
And for people, that just doesn't end up real well.
Yeah.
And so that was one of the things that's like, okay, so then that's when the white book came out, and then now we've got yellow. We went through the red, and now we got up to the yellow. So being involved in that process, that was part of it.
Sort of rules of the road and the instruction manual, essentially, for our process.
Getting the information to our people so that they could be successful.
Yep.
The other part that I really, it started out as when we were hiring, they would usually a potential candidate would spend some time with me, and we'd have trailers out, and I'd sit down. Sometimes we'd go an hour, sometimes we'd go an hour and a half. We just start talking and explaining the process. I always thought that was kind of fun to be a part of that. And then it turned into, once they were hired, then we set aside a time for Karlen. and didn't know at the time it was Cruising with Karlen until Scott Rosenboom kind of came through it, and he and I were talking one day. He says, "Yeah, you should be like Cruising with Karlen." You know? K on the cruising part of it,
Sure.
Karlen. So then Cruising with Karlen came about, and
Okay.
so
That's part of the onboarding process.
that was on the became the onboarding for the engineers and superintendents, project managers part of it. And I enjoyed that. Was a blast too for me because that gave me kind of the more projects we get in one day. So I would try to get us set up on different types of work that we're doing,
Sure.
like a CM and self-perform, and so they could see the different, be involved with different the same meeting for the day. So it's usually on a Wednesday or a Thursday. Right. I tried to get them so they could see like 3 or 4 population meetings or 3 or 4 production team meetings.
Right.
And so I was interested in their response too, on what they were viewing, because part of what we were trying to put across is consistency. In those white book, red book, yellow books that we put together, is that we want to try to be consistent across the company. So, that was part of that too. It's like, okay, so we get to the end of the day, we get done with the last meeting. I said, so what did you see? What did you see from all the meetings?
Right.
Just to see if they're different, but so that was the part too, that there was enough consistency in it. And I said, yeah, that's what we're going to find.
Yeah.
Each of us runs things differently. So
in your journey through the company and through that process, who are a couple people that made a big impact on how you worked and how you thought?
Oh, Pat, for one, is working alongside, working with Randy Lundstrom, because when he got to the point where he's going to be sliding out, retiring, we didn't just kind of put a line in the sand and say, okay, now we're going to go here. But we had enough conversations that going, yeah, that's kind of my desire to slide into a little bit more of that, more of the coaching stuff.
Sure.
There was just a number of the working with the superintendents and working with the engineers, just getting to know. Part of what I mostly enjoy is just getting to know people.
Sure.
You get to know the characters, get to know how everybody's going to deal with the process. There for a while, that I knew everybody. I knew kind of exactly what I could expect from every one of them, and how the meeting might go.
Any particular project that stands out in your mind?
O-line, DECA.
Yep.
Was a
East Penn Manufacturing, or DECA batteries.
More the personalities, I would say. Dale Holford and Ankeny, a number of the Ankeny projects we did.
Yep. So you have referred to Patty and the kids. So tell us more.
Patty's my wife.
Yep.
Been married for 45 years, 46 in August. My oldest, I got 3 girls. My oldest is Krista. She's worked for Story. She was a PA.
Yep.
She was one that said, hey, Dad, this might be something for you.
Yep.
Anna, my middle daughter, she's the one that hasn't worked for Story, along with my wife.
Okay.
And then Janie, my youngest.
Right.
All married. Krista has a 17-year-old. Anna and her husband have 3 kids, ranging from, I'll probably get it wrong, 7 or 8 down to 4. And then Janie is a 2-year-old and a 4-year-old. Yeah.
Are they all in Iowa?
No. Once Janie's husband, Frank, graduated, that's why Janie was doing the PA work. She was working, put her husband through.
Yep.
And he got a job, and they went to Rochester, Minnesota first. And now they're in West Bend, Wisconsin. And then the other 2 are in Iowa. The one's in Pleasant Hill. That's Krista, and she works for Heartland.
Yep.
Which is friends and family of us.
Yep, for sure.
And then Anna lives in West Des Moines.
West Palm Beach,
Iowa. West Palm Beach.
Yeah.
Exactly. West Des Moines.
All right. So retirement, you decided, it's time to turn the page. So what does that mean? Does that mean go back to Wisconsin, the center of gravity of all human life, as far as you're concerned, or what is that? What do you do next?
I don't know.
Okay.
Still figuring that out.
Okay.
Trying trying to figure out where the kids are going to land.
Yep.
Right now, 2 of them are in Iowa. One is used to be only 3 hours away in Rochester. Now 6 hours away in West Bend.
Yeah.
So that one makes it a little bit not a day trip anymore. So I don't know.
Okay. You've been retired now for 30 days. There are things I know that you like to do as a Packer fan outside of work. So what are those things that you have been doing or looking forward to doing more of now in retirement?
Well, I'm looking forward to fishing more
Okay.
because that's coming up here. The Wisconsin opener, walleye opener will be coming up, and I'm actually figuring I'll spend a day or two more that I can now that I can do that.
I'm sure you will.
Retirement here at home is we had some spaces that need to be redone, so I redid my room that has all the hunting and fishing type stuff. I've gone through that, and I got the garage now that working on trying to get that weeded out. So as a couple, we're still figuring that out.
Okay. And is Patty retired as well?
She has been, since we moved up here 8 years ago. Yeah. So she has her routines, and I'm.
You're finding yours.
We're trying to figure. Yeah, we're working the.
Yep.
I've joined her on some of her routine.
Okay.
Work out together now.
Ooh. Jeez. Zumba, yoga.
She's got some DVDs that she's been working with, and so just sitting behind the monitors and sitting behind a windshield. Okay, I need something to. Didn't do it before then, but I thought, well, okay, if I want to keep doing stuff I want to do, like deer hunting.
So Aaron Rodgers or Jordan Love?
Oh, Brett Favre.
Okay. Okay. Vintage.
We have a piece of paper that says that we own some of and that was I guess it was the Aaron Rodgers wing, but it was it was a Brett Favre era that got us to that point.
Yeah. But
I don't know.
Okay.
The Love, and I haven't seen much from Love yet that I.
Yeah. Well, he's better than I thought he would be.
He is. He's lasted longer, and the whole sports things for me has gotten. Just too much going on in the.
There's a lot going on. So if you had an 18-year-old version of you, or that you could address, or just young people today, you've had a career filled with lots of different sort of opportunities and paths. What advice or counsel would you give to somebody, young person today, considering a career in our industry?
Something I heard when I got in here, and it was actually Mike Caston. Listening to him tell his story and going through it, and the thing that came out of that was experience. Get the experience, the money will come.
Yeah.
Encourage the number of our young people as they're coming in to, that it's difficult because a lot of them want to chase the money, which, fine, that's their decision, but get the experience. And then put your head down and just work hard.
Yep. Anything else for the good of the order? Anything else that we didn't cover that you want to have memorialized in the
I don't think
Karlen
so.
Anderson
I probably just went verbal anyway, diarrhea on this whole thing anyway, just took off. And
it's great.
No, there's
great. There you heard it from directly from Karlen. It's a really good example of how somebody can start their journey in maybe one industry segment and one path, and have that journey wind its way into commercial construction to make big impact, not just for the crews he was working with, but really the people, and then lastly, and certainly not least, the company, as we really we're on this journey to develop people and develop our lean production system. We're grateful that Karlen was here, and we wish him all the best as a Packer.